there's a lot of people out there that probably don't know who you are. Maybe you could give us a little background on yourself.
Well, my name's Paul Hay. I'm been in law enforcement in the state of New Mexico for over 30 years. I am retired. I retired in 2011.
Excuse me. I think
I retired in 2011. This last time out during the mayor's race, I did run for mayor. That didn't work out so well. I worked for the Albuquerque Police Department for nearly 25 years. As I say, I retired in 2011. And it just breaks my heart as to what's going on with the city and what I see going on with the police department. And these politicians don't have a clue as to how to fix it. And it's one spin after another spin after another spin. To me, in my opinion, they're incapable of telling the truth. The mayor, in my opinion, hides from critical incidents, takes time to come up with answers, and the answers are ridiculous, in my opinion. So, I'm here today at the city clerk's office to get the information necessary to start a petition to recall the mayor of the city of Albuquerque. We need a complete change of leadership of this city because, quite frankly, in my opinion, there is no leadership in this city.
Why did you actually have to come down here today? You weren't able to do this over phone calls or email?
I needed to pick up the forms that were needed.
Mm-hmm.
I called yesterday, which was the 27th, and the city clerk was out ill. I did get recalled today by an assistant that said if I wanted the information, I would have to file an IMPRA for the information. And I said, that's ridiculous. I said, all I'm asking is the forms that are used, the process that I have to go through, and it doesn't meet anything that you would need IMPRA for. So after some phone calls, after some phone calls back and forth, they said, well, you can just come down and pick up the information that you need, and which I did.
Are you satisfied with what you got today?
Yeah, I'll have to go through it, and I have to file a notice of petition of recall, and I need 5 signatures on that of registered voters in Albuquerque. That's no problem. And I'll get that done, and I'll turn that in, and we'll go from there. Total of, to recall the mayor, or to have a recall election for the mayor, we need a total of 11,203 signatures.
And those are Albuquerque registered voters?
Yes, registered voters.
Okay.
So we'll get the petitions. I understand there's maybe some other groups that are trying to do this too. I'll combine with them, and I just urge everyone, listen, if you're not a registered voter and you live in Albuquerque, get down and get registered. This is important. This is important. If you don't register and if you're not a voter, then don't complain. You know, this is hard work, and a lot of people are putting a lot of time into this, and because we care about our city. If you don't care about the city enough to register and get out and vote and sign these petitions, then don't complain, because you have no business to complain.
Okay. You're probably pretty aware of what happened earlier this week with probably close to 1,000 people protesting in the streets at APD headquarters. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, people are upset. They're upset of what's going on in the city, and they're upset about being kept in the dark, and they're upset. People aren't stupid, and the leadership, if you want to call it leadership of this city, thinks that they can spin things and say like they're taking corrective action on things, and people, they think they can pull the wool over people's eyes. Well, people's eyes are wide open now, and they're not going to stand for it any longer. And unfortunately, it's taken a tragedy that's occurred, and I'm not making any comments on it because I wasn't there. And I will say that an investigation needs to be done, and whatever the results of that investigation are, the results of that investigation are. But however it comes out, it's a tragedy. And it's taken a tragedy like that to wake the city up. And I think the city is wide awake now, and they're not going to stand for it anymore.
Okay. Right now, what do you think the people can do or should do, or what can people do?
What people can do is just exactly what I said. If you're not registered to vote, get registered to vote. If you are registered to vote, come out and help us with these petitions. And if you can't come out and help us with the petitions, put your name on the petition. If you don't have enough nerve to put your name on that petition because you're afraid of reprisals, if you're not going to stand up for yourself, how can anybody else stand up for you? This is a community action. We all have to be together, and we all have to do this. We have to recall this mayor. We have to get rid of this administration, and we have to get a new administration in. And whoever that new administration is, if they don't do right, they'll let them know in no uncertain terms that you're next. We'll come after you. What these politicians have forgotten is that we don't work for them. They work for us.
What do you feel that people can do as far as maybe city council is concerned?
You know, my experience to the city council has been that, I've gone down there on several issues. The most famous of all, when I went down to present the transition report of the police department that was changed before it was submitted. I had, at that time, you're allowed 2 minutes to speak. But you could have people sign up after you and then give you their 2 minutes. And famously, I went down there and I had my 2 minutes, and I had a bunch of people all behind me that were giving me their 2 minutes, and they changed the rules that night and said, oh no, you can't do that anymore, we're only going to give you 2 minutes. So they don't want to face the truth. You can't fix the problem if you're afraid to face the problem. And I see these groups going down all the time, and I see them, speaking to the city council, and I think it's a deaf ear, to be very honest with you, with the exception of a few of the councilmen. But I think that it's a deaf ear. They don't really pay attention. Okay, we got to listen to this guy, but that's all we're going to do, and nothing's going to be done. The city council could take action right now. Why do we need the DOJ in here? Why don't the city council appoint a special investigator and have this investigated, and have many other things that are going on in this city investigated as well, such as the Mary Hahn case. Everybody's running away from that. The Ray Schultz famous Tasergate case, why isn't that being investigated? Folks, I do what I can do. I tried to get the Ray Schultz Tasergate case investigated, and I'm not saying that the ex-chief did or the past chief did anything wrong, but it sure doesn't look good. It needs to be investigated. I hand-carried a complaint down to the State's Attorney General office to have it investigated. Nothing. Nothing. I think if they think that if they sit on things long enough, that it's just going to go away. Well, it's not going to go away. I'm going to stay on it and stay on it and stay on it, but I'm one person. I'm like a voice crying in the wilderness to try to make change. Now this comes up, and I'm getting phone call after phone call after phone call, help us, help us, help us, help us, help us. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be involved in this recall petition. However, if people don't stand up and take part in this and help out with this, I can't do it myself. It'll fail, and you'll be stuck with what you have now.
Thank you, Mr. Hank.
Thank you.